Susie continuing to lead the way. Hackle, Decker, Parego, three-car battle. Into the turn, a couple of Thunder regulars battling it out. Danny Creedon will now grab fifth spot. Barker next in line battling Bailey Boyd.
And Barker will slide to the inside of Boyd. He'll move up into the number 6 position, but still not in the transfer spot as we work lap number 4 of this 10-lap heat race. Battle for third starting to shape up now. Going into turn number 3, Decker can feel the challenge now from Anthony Parego's 44.
Parego trying to get that last redraw spot away now. Parego into the turn, diving to the inside of Billy Decker, and now Danny Crean getting some heat from behind from Alan Barker. Barker would like the last qualifying spot. Here they come off the corner halfway.
So 5 down, 5 left to go. Race leader is the 10 of Ryan Susie with Hackle in second. Side-by-side race for third for that final redraw spot off turn number 2 as Parego continues to battle with Decker. Barker now slides to the inside coming off turn number 4. That'll get him into a transfer spot as he gets ahead of Danny Creedon.
Into the turn, Alan Barker getting that fifth spot away from Danny Creedon as they work down the back, and Anthony Parego throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Billy Decker as they work out of turn number 4. Decker on the outside, Parego on the inside, and Decker holds firm.
Decker using that outside group. Parego comes back on the inside run off turn number 2, and they're side by side again into 3 and 4. And Parego a little distance in front, and as they come to the 2 to go, 6, Decker roars back with momentum on the outside.
Parego throwing everything he's got at Billy Decker. Decker, a 2-time winner here this year, battling down the back straightaway. Last year, a track champion here as well. Side by side, Parego and Decker. White flag, 1 lap to go for Ryan Susie.
And that time it was Parego that had the third spot by about a wheel when they came across the line as they come down off turn number 4 to the checkers. Winner of heat number 1 is going to be Ryan Susie. Hackle will finish second. Third spot's going to go to Parego, so he does get himself into the redraw. Decker and Barker will get transfer spots into the feature with 4th and 5th place finishes, followed by Creedon in 6th, Boyd in 7th, Alex Tonkin in 8th, Zacharias in 9th, and Yankowski wound up pulling off the racetrack. He'll finish in 10th.
So your 5 qualifiers, the 10 of Ryan Susie, the 97 Bobby Hackle, 44 Anthony Parego, 91 Billy Decker, and the 77 of Alan Barker. Heat number 2 lining up this way, the Walker Concrete Construction 21 is Sean Walker outside front row. Driving in the Scott's Construction 3B, Scott Boudinot.
And row number 2 will find the Outlaw Speedway Series Motorsports 27J of the Dr. Danny Johnson. And to his outside in the Wild Animals Park, sponsored number 11T, that's Jeff Taylor.
Row 3 inside, the Garrity Asphalt reclaiming number 4, 3-time series champion. Driving out of Sheffield, Massachusetts, the Wild Child, Andy Bicchetti, alongside of him in the hashtag 34, the Spoonhour Construction Dirt Track Digest TV 34 is Shane Spoonhour.
And then in the Zero Draft to Jones Shop, sponsored number 14, inside 4th row starting spot goes to Kaylee DeMaurier. And on the outside aboard the number 13 machine, another Thunder Mountain regular who has had some awful luck. He's fallen out of at least 3 feature events while leading this year. That's Landon Cummings.
Final starting spot will find the Cricket Wireless number M64, Mark Goodwin. Mark Goodwin. 9 cars will go to the post, 10 laps, 5 qualify, 3 to the redraw. Joe Chris will display the white flag. We will go next time. So Sean Walker, again, we drew for position tonight, but he's the Thunder Mountain point leader here at the Speedway, and he's starting up front tonight, Paul.
And he'll be looking to lock up that championship on championship night here at Thunder Mountain Saturday night. So he and Boudinot, the only driver in the modified field other than Spoonhour, not rocking sail panels on the car. We'll get ready to come down to the Sunoco start zone here between turns 3 and 4 to look for the green flag. Start looks good. Starter Joey Chris puts the green in the air. Walker will win the track race as the field heads down into turns 1 and 2. Johnson immediately dumps to the inside of Boudinot, looking for the number 2 spot as they head down the backstretch.
Charging into the turn, Boudinot gets high. Look out, Taylor and Boudinot get together. Boudinot's got a broken front end. The 13 also getting stuck behind Landon Cummings, and we've got a yellow. Wow, Boudinot was high going into the turn, and he and Taylor got together. Taylor hopped over his front end and broke the wheels. And poor Landon Cummings had no place to go and had to stop. Got collected behind him.
Yeah, it looked like maybe it was Taylor going over the front of Boudinot's car going into turn number 3 that busted the front end on that machine. Tow trucks will back up to him here and give him the hook treatment. So while we've got a moment, we want to tell the folks that maybe are occasional visitors here about a special event coming up here to wrap up the season at Thunder Mountain on Sunday, September the 12th. It's an event called the Unruly Race.
Unruly race. That means you're not going to have any rules?
Pretty much. There's 3 rules. The first rule is all the standard safety gear, roll cages, seat belts, harnesses, blah, 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 blah. The second rule is the car has to be on Cooper Cobra DOT tires. And the third rule is the minimum weight is 3,000 pounds. And that's it. That's the rule book for that show.
3,000 pounds. What race car is going to meet that minimum weight requirement?
Well, you're going to have to bolt some weight on, but I wouldn't be surprised to see guys putting big motors in street stocks, maybe throwing big sail panels and wings on them. I mean, standard modified weighs, 2,550, 2,600 pounds. You could bolt some weight on there, too. We're looking at our Sunoco Race Wheels instant replay for those of you watching on Flow Racing. And, yeah, it was what busted the front end on Boudinot's car was that Taylor hopped his right rear over Boudinot's left front, and it's probably a good thing that happened where it did, because if it had happened deeper in the corner and damaged the right rear, or the right rear on Taylor's car, it could have sent him upside down.
And we mentioned poor Landon Cummings had no place to go. He was on the brakes hard, but did make some contact with the Boudinot car. Boudinot on the hook heading in, and Cummings drove to the pits and back out again. So we've got Walker as the leader. Danny Johnson, the doctor, alongside. He's been an Outlaw Speedway winner this season. Andy Bicchetti and Kaylee DeMourier in that second row. Jeff Taylor and Mark Goodwin next in line. Then Shane Spoonhour and Landon Cummings. Here we go.
So ready for the restart. 1 lap complete here as they'll come back into that Sunoco start zone off turn number 4. The doctor will put the power down, win the track race over Sean Walker, hop on the edge of the cushion, and he'll lead him coming off turn number 2. Bicchetti battling with DeMourier for the final redraw spot as he goes top shelf in turn 3.
Yeah, Andy's on the outside and Kaylee's on the inside, and Dr. Danny is battling with Sean Walker. 2 separate battles of 2. They're side by side, and Walker's on the inside, and Danny, they're still side by side, and Kaylee not giving up on the redraw spot. Whoa, we got him 3 wide for second.
Yeah, maybe a little hip check there from Walker on Danny Johnson, and Danny falls out of the redraw right now into that 4th position. That bumps DeMourier up into second, and the Garrity-sponsored car of Bicchetti into 3rd. Meanwhile, Taylor with the number 11 holding down the final transfer spot as we're a lap shy of the halfway point.
Danny Johnson was leading, and in the blink of an eye went from 1st to 4th and is out of a redraw spot. Kaylee DeMourier is still ahead of Andy Bicchetti. Make that, yes, Kaylee's still in second, and Sean Walker has got the number 1 spot now. Walker 1, DeMourier 2, Bicchetti 3. And now Jeff Taylor battling Goodwin for the 5th and final qualifying spot.
Goodwin a couple of car lengths back as we watch Bicchetti stalking Kaylee DeMourier's car off turn number 4. The separation there, only about a car length or 2, but they're both running the same line on the racetrack. High up into 1, cutting across the face of turn number 2, and then both kind of staying on the outside here, although DeMourier can run her car just a little bit lower on the racing surface through 3 and 4.
Heading into the turn, DeMourier's got a couple of car lengths on Bicchetti heading down the back straightaway. Sean Walker continuing to set the pace up front. The Walker Concrete Construction, number 21, 2 to go. Right now, Danny Johnson is 4, Jeff Taylor is 5, and Mark Goodwin not far behind Taylor for that last qualifying spot.
And here comes Bicchetti trying to look at the inside lane on DeMourier. Battle for second coming through turns 3 and 4 here as we watch the leader, Sean Walker, take the white flag. He's opened up about a third of a straightaway gap here as they'll head down the backstretch for the final times as Bicchetti gets up alongside DeMourier and makes a move.
Here's the checker off the turn. Sean Walker will pick up a $50 Flow Heat Race victory. Bicchetti besting DeMourier on the final lap. Danny Johnson, Jeff Taylor, followed by Goodwin, Cummings, and Spoonhour. So your heat race qualifiers, the 21, Sean Walker, the 4 of Andy Bicchetti, second, 14, Kaylee DeMourier. What a race for her. She gets 3rd. 27J Danny Johnson is 4th, and the 11T of Jeff Taylor coming home in 5th to qualify. Good action for those couple of qualifying spots. Heat 3, again, $50 to our heat race winners from Flow Racing TV. So Ryan Susi and Sean Walker so far getting the victories. Pole position, driving out of backcourt, the United Petroleum 3J, Joe Judge on the pole outside. driving in the Westar Mechanical 5L, Billy Van Inwigen.
And row number 2 on the inside, that is going to be the TO Pro car of Tyler Dipple, the number 1, and on the outside, and the Herlock Auto and Speed number 9S, also sponsored by Westmoreland Golf Club and St. Lawrence Radiology. That is Superman Matt Shepard.
Starting from 5th, he was the star of the show at our Woodhull race, coming from the back to finish in the top 5, driving in the Two Rivers Timber number 13, BVP, Billy Van Pelt, and alongside the 1-800-GOT Junk number 20, the thrilling David Schilling.
And we go back to row number 4. On the inside is where we'll find PJ Goodwin with that number 64, the white number 64, and the Algonquin Motel Dirt Track Digest TV sponsored machine, the heavyfoot J.R. Hurlburt, outside that row with the 6H.
Final starting spot, driving the Rim Construction Sharky's Fuels 119 out of Lake Ariel, Pennsylvania. That is Brian Malcolm. Brian Malcolm in the 119. Heat number 3, set to go racing. Again, we'll go 10 laps, 5 qualify, 3 to the redraw.
So we get ready for the start here as they come off turn number 4. Green flag waves, give the advantage to Van Inwigen. Shepard trying to go to the outside, going to get up over the berm a little bit. Dipple cuts back down to the bottom, and look at that move by the Superman, spreading his wings and flying up to the number 2 spot.
4 wide they were out of turn number 2, and Shepard got several spots. Up front, Billy V leading the way. Superman is in 2nd, Dipple's in 3rd, then Van Pelt quickly moving to 4th.
And trying to go 3 wide up into turn number 3 was Hurlburt, but Schilling throws a killer block. A little contact between Hurlburt and Judge as they come off turn number 4. Meanwhile, battle for the race lead off turn number 2, and Shepard shoots up ahead of Van Inwigen.
Yes, he does, and we got a battle for that last redraw spot now as Tyler Dipple feeling the heat from short track specialist Billy Van Pelt. Van Pelt, a winner at Woodhull on Saturday night. His 5th of the year, putting the pressure on Dipple down the back straightaway. Dipple on the outside, Van Pelt on the inside, still side by side.
Van Pelt knows a thing or two about tight high bank racetracks, with Woodhull being his home track as they charge back up into turns 1 and 2, a lap shy of the halfway point. Good run off the inside there for Van Pelt. He'll put a wheel in front of Dipple as they go into 3 and 4, and he'll lock the pass down for that final redraw spot as we come to the halfway point.
Here comes a heavy foot, J.R. Hurlburt. Hurlburt, a former champion here back in the day at Thunder Mountain, heading down the back straightaway after getting by Schilling and Judge. He's closing in on Tyler Dipple and Billy Van Pelt. Hurlburt's on the gas now for the Algonquin Motel 6, right behind Dipple.
Comfortable lead out front for Shepard, and Van Inwigen by himself in 2nd, and Billy Van Pelt, BVP, has opened up a few car links here on this battle for the 4th and 5th positions as we have now 3 laps left to go. Hurlburt trying to set up a crossover move here, perhaps into turns 1 and 2, tries to duck down on the low side, can't quite do it as Shepard will come to the 2 to go signal this time by.
2 to go for the Herlock Auto and Speed. Gibbons Produce number 9S out of the turn, down the back he goes by himself. Billy Van Inwigen, then Billy Van Pelt. Dipple now feeling the pressure from J.R. Hurlburt. Will take a white flag this time, 1 lap to go. The first ever series race here in 2014 was won by Shepard as he leads them down the back.
And Shepard will guide it down into turns 3 and 4. He will pick up the win here in our 3rd heat for the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Short Track Super Series Herlock Auto and Speed North Region, followed by Van Inwigen and Van Pelt will go to the redraw. And then 4th and 5th transferring up into the feature event are Tyler Dipple and J.R. Hurlburt. And then the rest of the cars on the track, including Malcolm, Judge, and Goodwin, will have to try to qualify through a consolation race.
Your 5 qualifiers, the 9S Matt Shepard. He'll get a $50 Flow Heat race victory. 5L, Billy Van Inwigen, the 13, Billy Van Pelt to the redraw, the 1, Tyler Dipple, and the 6H of J.R. Hurlburt. The 4th qualifier lining up this way, the Costas Auto Body 02 from Corning, Corey Costa outside front row. Winner here this year, the Smith Site Development, number 12, Darren Smith.
And then row 2 on the inside, that is going to be the Adirondack Auto number 35 car of Mike Mahaney. And on the outside, aboard that McDonald's-sponsored number 63, that's going to be Byron Worthing.
Row number 3 on the inside, the American Taxi 6NN, your Afton Motorsports Park Point leader. That is the driver out of Groton, Nick Nye, and alongside driving car number 90, that is the New Way Hydraulics-sponsored race car of Rick Wilk.
And then row 4 on the inside, the Smith Productions Blue Ox number 34, that'll be Rusty Smith. And to his outside with the Stefersky-sponsored number 9, that'll be Brett Tonkin.
Final starting spot, one of our new additions to the series this year. From Pittsfield, Massachusetts, today Prime Mac Tools 55H, Brett Haas. Brett Haas into 55, your final starter. Again, 10 laps, 5 qualified, 3 to the redraw. $50 from Flow Racing for the winner of heat number 4.
And I do want to make a mention, I just heard from Nate Stevens, who's the man behind the unruly race. They've actually opened up the tire rule a little bit for this unruly event. It's any DOT or Hoosier D60 tire that is eligible to be used. We obviously have heard all summer about tire issues and supply and that stuff, so they've kind of opened the playing field up a little bit to any DOT tire or a Hoosier D60.
Sounds like the old days, run what you brung.
Pretty much.
Here we go. Joe Chris looks him over heat number 4 for the Hurlock Auto and Speed North Region Modifieds. Here they come.
As they charge down into turn number 1, Corey Costa will emerge with the lead. They're stacked 3 wide for a moment behind him. Darren Smith pedaling hard down to the inside of Costa. Nye with a slide to the inside here, trying to get around Mahaney. Mahaney comes back around him on the outside.
Motoring to the turn, Corey Costa surviving all the 3 wide challenges. He's your leader, Darren Smith behind him. They're 3 wide again on the back straightaway. Rusty Smith going by Nick Nye, moving in behind Mahaney.
Yeah, talk about three-wheeling it. I don't think Rusty Smith, the only time that left front's touching the ground is when he hits the brakes to set the car. And now it is a battle for second and third. Mahaney working the inside, trying to pull a slider perhaps here on Darren Smith. Tries to, and Darren is right there on his outside corner.
How about that? A 4-car battle for the last 2 redraw spots. Mahaney inside of Darren Smith. He will pick up the number 2 spot, and Rusty Smith battling Darren Smith, followed by Nick Nye off the corner. Rusty Smith picking up that left front wheel. He's trying to get third.
And Rusty will complete the pass as Darren goes a little bit wide in turn number 2, and Smith may not be satisfied with just getting into the redraw. He'd like to improve his status in the redraw. So he draws in now behind the 35 of Mahaney. A battle for second coming off turn 2, working lap number 6.
Charging into the turn, it is Rusty Smith and Mike Mahaney battling for second. Corey Costa leading comfortably right now. Darren Smith is in 4th. Nick Nye is in 5th. Behind them, Brett Tonkin battling with Byron Worthing. Rick Wilk and Brett Haas next in line. This time by, it is still Mahaney challenging for second. And now Rusty Smith holding on to the position.
Yeah, Smith made a nice move going into turn number 3 to take over that second spot. Immediately pulls a couple of car lengths here on the Adirondack Auto 35 car of Mahaney. Meanwhile, Darren Smith, Nick Nye, they're about 4 or 5 car lengths back of Mahaney with a couple laps left to go.
Heading out of the corner. Heading out of the corner now. We've got Corey Costa's motor's missing, and Rusty Smith has caught him. He'll go by. White flag, 1 to go. Costa's trying to hold on to a qualifying spot if he can. Rusty Smith from 7th spot is now your leader, and Costa's in trouble. Everybody scrambling down the back.
Oh, and Nye got a piece of him off turn number 2, and there goes sailing around him the number 9 of Brett Tonkin. So the heat win goes to Rusty Smith. He, Mike Mahaney, and Darren Smith will go to the redraw. Nick Nye, and on the last lap, Brett Tonkin being in the right place at the right time, able to get around the 0-2 of Costa as that engine started to backfire and miss over that final lap and a half. He tried to soldier it home, but just didn't have enough.
Wow, what a heartbreaker for Corey Costa. The Napa Dunning Auto Parts number 02 had the motor backfire. He was comfortably in front of the field, no challenges whatsoever. A mechanical failure will take him out of a qualifying spot. 34, Rusty Smith started 7th. Rusty Smith started 7th and picked up a $50 Flow Heat Race victory. How about that run? Even if he didn't win, he went from 7th to 2nd, took advantage of the misfortunes of Corey Costa. Rusty Smith, the 34 winning. 35, Mike Mahaney gets 2nd. 12, Darren Smith 3rd. They'll go to the redraw. 6 NN, Nick Nye 4th, and the 9, Brett Tonkin will be your final qualifier. So we took 5 out of 4 heats. That's 20 cars already qualified for the 50 lap, 5,000 to win Lightning on the Mountain feature.
Now, the driver in that Blue Ox 34, Rusty Smith, is pulling double duty tonight, as he's also going to be running in the Precision Hydraulic and Oil 602 Sportsman division, and he's in the very first heat race. So while he's switching cars and getting into the 60X, the car normally campaigned here on a regular Saturday night by Kinzer Hill, we'll do a little